Introduction. The Biden-Harris team wants to make our roads cleaner and greener. They're focusing on electric cars, which don't emit harmful gases like traditional cars. But for electric cars to become popular, we need lots of charging stations, just like gas stations. So, the government is asking for ideas on how to make these charging stations better. They're inviting experts and everyday people to share their thoughts through something called a request for information, RFI. This is like asking for advice from everyone who knows about electric cars and charging stations. By listening to all these ideas, the government hopes to make rules that will make it easier for everyone to own and use electric cars. This is part of President Biden's plan to fight climate change and make America a leader in clean energy. After collecting ideas from experts and the public, the government will look at all the suggestions. They'll see what makes sense and what will help electric cars the most. Then, they'll start making rules or standards for how charging stations should work. These rules will make sure that charging stations are easy to find, work with any kind of electric car, and are safe to use. The government will also think about where to put these charging stations so that everyone can use them easily. They'll consider putting them in neighborhoods, cities, and along highways. By making these rules, the government hopes to make it easier for people to switch to electric cars and help the environment. This is all part of their bigger plan to fight climate change and make the world cleaner and healthier for everyone. Once the government has the rules for how charging stations should work, they'll make sure they cover everything that's important. They want to make sure that anyone who owns an electric car can easily find a charging station when they need one. They also want all charging stations to work the same way, so it's not confusing for people. Another thing they'll think about is making sure that charging stations are safe to use. They'll set standards to make sure that the electricity is delivered safely to the car's battery. Plus, they'll make sure that the charging stations are built well and won't cause any accidents. By setting these standards, the government hopes to make it easier for more people to use electric cars. This will help reduce pollution and make our air cleaner for everyone to breathe. It's all part of their plan to make our world a better and healthier place for generations to come. Once the government has gathered all the feedback and ideas, they'll start putting them into action. They'll work with experts, businesses, and communities to turn these ideas into real standards for EV charging stations. These standards will outline things like how fast a charging station should charge a car and how easy it should be to use. The government will also think about how to pay for all these charging stations. They might offer incentives or funding to help businesses and communities build them. They'll make sure that these charging stations are built in places where they're needed the most, like in cities and along highways. By turning these ideas into standards and helping to build more charging stations, the government hopes to make it easier for everyone to switch to electric cars. This will help reduce air pollution and make our planet healthier for future generations. It's all part of their plan to fight climate change and create a cleaner, greener future for us all. Once the government has set up the rules for EV charging stations, they'll make sure they're fair for everyone. They'll think about people who live in neighborhoods that don't have many resources and make sure they have access to charging stations too. They want to make sure everyone can benefit from using electric cars, no matter where they live or how much money they have. They'll also think about how to protect the environment. While building these charging stations, they'll consider things like using renewable energy to power the stations and making sure they don't harm wildlife or natural habitats. By making sure the rules are fair and environmentally friendly, the government hopes to encourage more people to use electric cars. This will help reduce pollution and make our air cleaner for everyone to breathe. It's all part of their plan to create a more equal and sustainable world for everyone. After setting up the rules, the government will start working on making them into official policies. They'll write down all the details about how the rules should be followed and enforced. This will help make sure that everyone knows what to do and that the rules are followed correctly. They'll also think about how to help businesses and communities follow these rules. They might offer incentives or support to encourage them to build more charging stations and follow the standards. By turning these rules into policies and supporting businesses and communities, the government hopes to make it easier for everyone to use electric cars. This will help protect our planet and create a better future for all of us. It's all part of their plan to fight climate change and promote clean energy. Once the policies are in place, the government will keep an eye on how well they're working. They'll monitor things like how many charging stations are being built and if they're being used by people. They'll also listen to feedback from businesses, communities, and people using electric cars to see if there are any problems or improvements needed. If they find that something isn't working as well as it should, they'll make changes to the policies to fix it. They want to make sure that everyone has access to charging stations and that using electric cars is easy and convenient for everyone. By keeping track of how well the policies are working and making changes when needed, the government hopes to make electric cars a popular and practical choice for transportation. This will help reduce pollution and make our world a cleaner and healthier place for everyone to live. It's all part of their commitment to creating a brighter future for us all. The government's efforts to establish standards for EV charging stations are a crucial step towards a cleaner and more sustainable future. By listening to experts and the public, setting up fair rules, and supporting businesses and communities, they're making it easier for everyone to use electric cars. These actions will not only reduce pollution and protect our environment, but also create new opportunities for jobs and innovation. By working together, we can build a world where electric cars are the norm and our air is cleaner for generations to come. So let's embrace this change, drive towards a greener future, and be proud of the progress we're making together. Together, we can make a difference and create a better world for ourselves and future generations. Spread the word by sharing this video with friends and family. Subscribe to our channel for more updates and be part of our community. Your support means a lot. Help us grow by sharing and subscribing today. Intrigued by the latest developments in the EV world? Dive deeper into the conversation by watching our video on Elon Musk's $6 billion investment in Tesla shares. Stay updated on all things EV-related by subscribing to our channel for more insightful news and analysis. Join us in shaping the future of sustainable transportation. Watch the video and subscribe to our channel here. Insert video link.